Hello and welcome to Hebrew. I hope you guys are doing really well. So far, your quizzes look pretty good. I'm still working on grading quiz 2 and, of course, quiz 3. And hopefully, you've noticed that you no longer need to scan and turn in your work like that. You should be able to type the answer because the answer should all be in English now. Be able to type that in on that Word document that I use for your quiz and send that in to me. Also, from this point forward, I'm going to ask that please, you should know by now that your worksheets are just so important. But instead of scanning those and turning them into me, I'm going to ask that when you turn in your quiz, that you also give me a note of saying, yes, I have done all of my worksheets, or I have done 75% of my worksheets, whatever you have done when you turn in your quiz, and I will grade you based on your word, and I'm not going to be looking at your work. So please make sure that you keep up with your worksheets because your worksheets are your best friend. And the only way you're going to learn Hebrew is by doing those worksheets. And so it becomes imperative for you to do that. Well, this week we're taking on adjectives and pronouns. And I'm going to spend an excessive amount of time on pronouns and minuscule amount of time on adjectives. I have 3 videos this week for you to watch on pronouns. And I'm just going to incorporate a little excursion on adjectives as I do your vocabulary on this video. So let's look at our vocabulary for chapter 7. And we have wonderful vocabulary this week. If you like Hebrew vocabulary, obviously I do. Ahad, one. Gadol, great, big or large. Dal, poor, weak or needy. Zakan, old, and if it's used as a noun, it means elder. Hakam, wise, skillful, experienced. Tov, good, pleasant. Inema tov, behold how good. Yafeh, beautiful. Yashar, upright. Cain, so, thus, therefore. Meov, very, exceeding. Ma'at, little, few. Atah, now, after all, at last, then. Zadik, righteous, just, innocent. It's a very important word in Hebrew. Zadik is a quality that every good Hebrew desires, and every good Christian should desire as well. It means to be upright, to be one who is just, to be innocent of blame or guilt. Kavosh, holiness, something that is holy. Kadosh, holy, set apart. Katon, small, young, insignificant. Karov, near or close. Kasha, difficult, hard, severe. Rahok, distant, remote, far away. Rav, great, many. Ra, bad, evil, wicked. Rasha, wicked or guilty. Shayar, song. Let's turn over to chapter 8. Ohel, tent. Aher, other, another, foreign. Ache, how. Elef, thousand. Asher, who, whom, that, which. Behima, animal, beast or cattle. Gam, also, even. Dam, blood. Hey, that's the interrogative particle. Tahor, clean, pure. Ki, that, because, but, except, indeed, truly. Kasel, fool, shameless person. Lama, why. Ma, what. Madwa, why. Me, who. Ani, poor, humble, afflicted. Shanin, oil or fat. And shofet, one who judges or a judge. That's your vocabulary for chapters 7 and chapters 8. Let's talk for just a moment about adjectives. Turn over there. Hebrew adjectives function just like English adjectives. They're used to modify to describe, to characterize, or classify a noun. In other words, adjectives are going to give nouns a certain amount of increased specificity. So instead of just saying king, it's going to be wise king, good king, evil king. It's going to give more specificity. It's not just a king now, it is a wise, a good, or an evil king. Hebrew adjectives inflect or change their form in order to indicate gender and number. They are inflected in 4 forms: the masculine singular, masculine plural, feminine singular, and feminine plural. The good news here is that the inflection changes for adjectives are the same that you have already learned for nouns. And you can see that on 7.2 how they inflect. And if you've memorized your noun charts, then this should not be anything new and difficult for you. Now, some things that you need to know about adjectives in summary is that in order that Hebrew adjectives inflect in order to indicate gender and number, they are inflected in the 4 forms that I just mentioned: masculine singular, masculine plural, feminine singular, and feminine plural. The inflection endings for adjectives are the same as they are for the nouns that you've already learned. Hebrew adjectives have to agree in gender and number with the nouns that they modify. So if you have a plural adjective, then your noun's going to be plural. If you have a singular feminine adjective, then your noun is going to have to be singular and feminine. So your noun and your adjectives are going to have to agree in gender and in number. The gender of an adjective does not change the meaning of an adjective. Adjectives, I can't even say it. Adjectives that are plural in form are singular in translation value. The number of an adjective does not change the translation value of the adjective. So if you're saying wicked kings, wicked is going to be plural and masculine, but it's not going to have the S on the end of it. Wicked's kings. It's going to be wicked kings, but the ending is going to have a plural masculine ending, and so that it can agree with the noun. Adjectival usage falls into 3 categories. It's either attributive, predicative, or substantive. The attributive adjectives follow the noun they modify, and they agree in gender, number, and definiteness or indefiniteness. Predicative adjectives, they either precede or follow the noun they modify, and they agree in gender and number only. Predicative adjectives never take the definite article. Then there's substantive adjectives. The substantive adjectives are used independently as nouns. In such cases, there will be no noun for the adjective to modify, but it will still be an adjective. In Hebrew, the directional ending, the comments, hey, may be added to the end of a word in order to express the idea of motion towards someone or something. The directional ending is always unaccented and translated to or toward. That's the comments and then the hey. So blessings on you guys, and the next 3 videos are some that I did back in January, but the material is the same, content's the same. So if you hear things that are not in sync with your class, like session 7 instead of session 6 or something like that, that's what's up with that. So the material, the actual substance and content on pronouns is the same and exactly what you need this week. Blessings, guys, and if you need me, I'm always available via email or phone call.